Hello and welcome
Hello.
everyone online. It is lovely to be here at the Singularity South Africa Summit online. We're engaging today in conversations around defining the future of the drone economy. My name is Alex Ripsam. I am a researcher in philosophy of technology and algorithmic bias, as well as the director of research content at Singularity. And I am joined today by Emmanuel Emenzir. Emmanuel, would you please introduce yourself to our audience
Hello,
today?
everyone. Hi, it's Emmanuel Azaran here. I'm the founder and CEO of Iran, an aerospace company based in Nigeria. And it's a pleasure to join you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I have a couple of things I wanted to discuss with you specifically around this notion of the drone economy. But since this is a Singularity event, one of my first questions is really what we're seeing in this space is that because of sort of the convergence, the intersections of different technologies is where these massive opportunities around drone technologies are coming from. Could you speak more to what exactly is happening technologically at this point in time, that makes all of this innovation possible?
Yeah, there are a couple of key opportunities right now that's making drone technology really attractive. One is improvements in battery technology. We have better energy density with lithium ion and lithium polymer cells. So we have a number of drone manufacturers jumping into that space, working with these batteries, modifying their airframes so that they can fit in more batteries. And yeah, you get more flight time with that. Two is that a lot more countries and of course, their regulatory bodies are open to try out drone technology for different applications. So, from the regulatory framework, we have more support now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then from the supply chain, it's more streamlined now. You have battery manufacturers for the different materials for making the bodies of the drones. You have those manufacturers. You have autopilot systems available, so you can now choose from a broader range of options. Who you want to work with, where you want to source your materials for, and build your drone tech.
Wonderful. And this is exactly what I love, right? Is because of this sort of this macro perspective that you can give, seeing how three completely different developments, regulatory,
Yeah,
supply chain, and battery innovation actually makes for this sort of innovative environment within which drones are now having
absolutely,
this moment. Yeah, exactly. So tell
absolutely.
me, what to you does, because we've heard this term a couple of times, the drone economy, what does that term mean to you? What is a drone economy? What does it look like?
Um, it's the exchange of value happening in the drone space,
Mm-hmm.
commerce, providing solutions, receiving compensation, monetary, whatever for that value being provided. So all that exchange of value that happens with drone technology defines the drone economy.
Wonderful. And who currently are defining, what are the big players? Well, who's making an impact in the drone economy? And particularly not just what specific businesses, but what industries as well. Where do you see sort of the application really taking, sorry, excuse the pun, taking flight?
I would say if I were to rank it, I would put
Mhm.
consumer applications first, which is
Okay.
videography, photography,
Yeah.
um, followed by surveillance applications, aerial mapping, remote sensing, and then followed by aerial logistics, which is a lot more complex. It's sort of the most complex of the three, and I'll put that at third, but it's also rapidly coming up.
Rapidly coming up, and do you see a lot of potential in that space for growth as well?
Oh yeah, there's absolute potential. Probably the top most significant impact would come from that space. It's either the topmost or the second most significant impact would come from aerial logistics.
And that's kind of what your passion in this space is as well, right? Is making a big impact with this technology. Can you tell us more about your work?
Okay. At Aaron, our passion is solving problems with technology and making things just work better. I'm based in Nigeria, and so my primary focus now has been seeing how we can improve a lot of processes here with drones in Nigeria. And it starts with healthcare and healthcare logistics, and the fact that we have lots of remote hospitals without
Mhm.
proper facilities to store supplies, and how we can use drones to bridge that gap to transport the supplies from the cities to these facilities to the hospitals on demand, means that we can save lives and we can improve the speed of that delivery and the healthcare system there. So that's one way we're working with drones. The second way is surveillance applications too. It costs thousands of dollars per hour to fly a helicopter to search for a missing person or a missing item. It could be a car, a stolen car. And so we have drones that are being used for surveillance applications too, and this is to reduce the cost of search and rescue and surveillance. And we have an energy product as well, still not very tied to drones, but then the ideas for the batteries in the energy product came from our research on drones, and now we're allowing millions of Nigerians have access to uninterrupted power supply, which also has almost a bigger significance in a developing country like ours.
And so this I love, right? It's this really interdisciplinary approach, tackling multiple
Yeah,
problems with technologies that may be enabling you to do more. And I love what
exactly.
you just mentioned as well, is doing this in a developing country. Um, do you see specific sort of opportunities here and in for countries for developing countries to be leaders in this space?
Yeah, I think developing countries have always had a greater potential to lead this space because we have a very poor logistics system. The roads are bad, so you're obviously looking to the sky to do transportation. So you have a large number of foreign companies, US companies, building tech and then coming to Africa to deploy it. Zipline did that with Rwanda and Ghana. A number of other drone companies have done that and are still doing that because there's a lot more opportunities here. We have a simpler regulatory framework that allows them to be able to experiment and try
Right.
out their tech here. And the need is also greater. So there's a greater demand for that solution here. So our and the different regulatory bodies are willing to allow them to start because of how important the solution is versus in developed countries where there's usually something else that kind of solves the problem.
Right, right. And so, in your work or in this space, do you run into what's sort of the cultural reception of these drones? Right? Do people generally welcome them? Is there still a lot of sort of ideas around drones being used for violence? I know in many companies working in drones, they're battling this sort of like public perception of what drones are for. How does that occur in your work?
We have no negative perception here. I would imagine countries that have experienced um, drone attacks or drone wars to have that fear, but we don't. I haven't experienced it. We don't have that here. They're mostly fascinated when they see the drones fly, and they want to cluster around and look at it fly and ask questions about, oh, what's that? What's that? So they don't yet have any fear attached to drones.
Well, that's wonderful. And how do you imagine what that future will look like, right? If it's welcomed as such, and if it's say the battery technology continues improving, regulation keeps improving, and the supply chain keeps improving, what does the future look like? Will we look to the skies, and what will we see? Paint us a picture.
Okay, so like 2 years back, I would
Yeah,
imagine the sky filled with drones, but now that I'm reassessing that imagination. I don't think I want a sky filled with drones. It
is
has
that
to be
because
well.
of the noise? Because we all know drones
Um,
are very noisy.
it's not just the noise; it's just the imagery of having all their drones in the air, and if they fly at a certain altitude, that's fine. But when they're landing, that's really where you hear the noise. So the noise contributes, but it's mostly the idea of having millions of drones. So here's how I see it. I think it's for aerial logistics. Drone technology would be something that has to be used for very essential deliveries. And these are not everyone will be able to order something and it would arrive by drone. It has to be for people that need it very quickly, or people that are willing to pay the premium to have it delivered quickly. So there are these two categories of people: medical applications and courier too. And the courier side, it has to be premium, where only people that can afford that premium and need it quickly would pay. And I think that would help regulate the traffic on a fundamental level. And then you now have softwares. There has to be sophisticated softwares that allows these drones fly in predetermined paths, and that would allow a very structured um, traffic in the sky. So it's something that's of concern. You're not just going to have millions of drones zipping back and forth with no clear path and pattern. There has to be some very good structure so that we don't cluster the skies.
That's wonderful. I have one more sort of like personal question, which is what I've always wanted, is to be able to transport myself via drone. Is that in our future? Will I be able to travel by drone?
Absolutely. There are already some companies doing amazing work there. Um, um, Joby Aerospace recently IPO'd, and they have an amazing design. It's very practical, and I'm quite impressed with what they have. So I think, yeah, take a pilot from out of that plane, and you already have a drone. So it'll be very feasible that in the next 3 to 5 years, they're the um,
Perfect. Perfect. So
yeah, passenger
what
flight as well.
I know what I'm excited about for the next coming years. What's next for you as we wrap up? What are you excited about? What are you working on? What's next?
All right, I'm excited about a lot of things. We're building our headquarters in Nigeria, so it's a very R&D focused. We're building a lot of groundbreaking tech there. I'm very excited for what we're going to do in the next few years, just from the output of that headquarters. It's also like a production facility for our drones and the energy product, the power hub. Um, in the aero logistics space, excited too to see more structure. We have our Aeron Express Air Express service, which is to bring drone delivery for logistics companies. We're excited to see that being adopted. We're really making the process streamline, the whole regulatory work handled, the drones, the hardware, the software. It's all handled by us. I want to see that happening and companies adopting our system. I want to see more consolidation. We have a lot of drone companies doing the same thing, very little innovation. I think they're going to come together, and then so there'll be more consolidation coming up, and naturally there'll be refining going on, and you have better solutions, yeah, for the environment, and that solves the problem better.
I love that. So the future is collaboration. Right.
Collaboration, definitely.
I like it. Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to talk to with you today.
It was an
And
amazing pleasure as well.
thank you so
All
much. And thank
right,
you everyone for joining.
Eric, bye.
Bye.